Okay, hello everyone. I hope you still have some patience. You are just to left. Thank you, Oli-Pekka, for your introduction. So, as Oli-Pekka said, I'm going to talk about this famous Ruokolahti area. We have heard about it today for several times. So currently I'm working as a doctoral student at the UEF, and part of my job is to work with this data from Ruokolahti study area. But unfortunately, I haven't participated in the fieldwork. I just work with the data. But some of the people that participated are here in the room. All right, so this area is situated in southeastern Finland. And the story goes so that in 2010, in the summer, there were 2 thunderstorms that devastated a lot of the area, and then the trees were fallen, a lot of trees around there. And the area is mostly spruce dominated, so guess what? It was a good place for spruce bark beetle to come. In 2011, they have already colonized the fallen trees, but then in 2013, they have moved to the standing trees. Shortly after the windstorm, 2 areas have been conserved, which means that the trees that were fallen on the ground should have been left on the ground. So just to make it clear, the conservation means that the fallen trees were there. It doesn't mean that prior to the windstorm there haven't been any silviculture measures. It was like a normal region. Those protected area are in green spots there, in green border. And then in red borders that you can see, some smaller ones, are the storm gaps that we were able to identify from these orthophoto plans. So as you can see, the biggest one that we identified was around 4 hectares and is in one of the conserved areas. We have also an orthophoto plan for 2014, so you can see that there are a lot of light areas, which means that those areas have been clear cut as a sanitary cutting measure. So there has been a lot of work around there, but not in the conserved areas. The experiment started in 2014 when the first plots have been established, and then it continued until 2021, except 2018, when nothing has been done. The first plots have been established in the conserved areas, so you can see that image showing the evolution of the plots. So you can see that between 2014 and 2017, only in the conserved areas have been some works ongoing. And then from 2019, new damaged spots were found outside the conserved areas, so new plots have been established. The condition for the plots to be established was that in the plots there should have been some standing trees, so not in the fallen trees areas, and then also at least 2 infested trees, and around them, highly infested or dead trees, and around them other infested trees. What is important to mention here is that between 2014 and 2017, the plot had a radius of 5 meters, and then because the infestation advanced so much, the radius of the plots have been changed to 10 meters. Okay, here you have a plot that I put with red and green. Those in red are the newly established plots, and in green those that were measured, which means that every year the team went in around August and remeasured the previous installed plots, and then established new plots if there was a case. So in 2017 and 2021, no newly established plots. The field survey, also Päivi mentioned it, so I will not talk many details about it. There in the image, I also put that information regarding the radius of the plots, 5 meters 2014, 2017, and then 10 meters 2019, 2021. We have information from the transects, so those 4 lines, but I didn't really work with them. Or anyways, the data is really good to see the evolution. So inside the plots, we have the characteristics of the trees, like height, diameter, and of course the species, and then the symptomatology for spruce bark-beetle infestations, which actually was the focus of the study area. I've also mentioned the symptoms, which are, well, not only private, but some of the presentation were about this also. But those are at trunk level, holes, resonance flows, and bark damage, and crown level, needle discoloration and defoliation, and then they are divided in 3 or 4 classes. So here I have some examples. The first 3 from top are the trunk symptoms, which are the 3 of them are the 4-3 or class 3. And then for the crown, we have in image D, for needle decoration class 3, which means reddish to red color. And for defoliation, class 1, as you can see, there's not so much defoliation. For image E, it's already a dead tree, so it's already class 4 for both. And then now I have an exercise. If you were in the forest now and it was summer, look at this tree, what needle discoloration class would you give to this one? For discoloration. So you have 4 classes. So can it be 1? Who's for 1? 1. Good. 2. Okay. 3. And 4, obviously not. So more votes were for class 2, which I also agree. And then for the defoliation, which is the class that you would give, 1, 0, 24%, 2, 25, 49%. 2. Okay. Yeah.
I think brown.
Brown.
1. Not 2. Okay,
Yeah, so the idea is that this part of crown assessment is quite much subjective, but of course it's easy to identify a living and dead tree. This was just to wake up. And now I'm moving to some results that are part of a manuscript that we hope to publish soon. And from this manuscript, I will just bring some of the results related to infestation levels of the trees, damage of the plot, and then the effects on the sense characteristics. So yeah, the results, I will present them separately because we had the situation when we changed the size of the plot. So I will present data from results from 2014 to 2021 on 5-meter radius plots, and then for 2019, 2021 on 10 meters radius plots. For the 10-meter radius plot, we only have data from conserved areas on this, so between 2014 and 2017. But we can see that already in 2014, so 4 years after the thunderstorm, 1 year after the trees were colonized, or the sanitary was colonized, the infestation was already quite high. Over 50% of the trees were already highly infested. But then when the plots were expanded, of course, the situation changed, but still in the conserved areas, we can see a high percentage of highly infested trees. If we look at the symptoms by themselves, we can see that discoloration is the symptom that show less evidence for highly infested trees, but this can be also because the evaluation has been done on August, and the chronic symptoms usually are shown or visually shown later. The focus with this data is also in comparing the conserved areas and managed areas. So now remember that conserved means that the fallen trees were left on the ground. To assess this, we have defined a damage index that can take values between 0 and 1. I put there a formula how they are calculated, but well, probably it's not so important right now. In conserved area, we can see that in 2019, the damage of the plots was already super high, over 0.75. And then it increased by 5% until 2021. In managed areas, the damage index was much lower, but the increase until 2021 was of 15%. And then if you check the infestation, the damage index shown by each symptom, overall, the trunk symptoms has shown higher levels of infestation than the crown symptoms. But again, this can be because of the time of the year when the assessment has been done. Related to what happened on the stand, by this time probably all know that dam stand is much characterized with a lot of standing dead trees. In this situation, from Ruokolahti area, the standing trees were present for around 5 years, and then they have started to fall. So in 2019, when the reassessment has been done, a lot of trees have been fallen. And of course, we can see that the percentage of that tree is high in the conserved areas, more than 70%. 80% of the trees were dead and standing. Some take-home messages from the study would be that the harmful effect of spruce bark beetle outbreak can be reduced by timely detection of spruce bark beetle infestation and application of sanitary cuttings. This with timely detection we have seen also before that was presented. Using a methodology based on the detection of tree symptoms can efficiently reveal the spruce bark beetle infestation levels of trees and stands. And just to keep it in the spirit of this seminar, visual ground observation of symptoms can support further the development of symptom decision using remote sensing tools. And to connect the Ruokolahti study area with the remote sensing topic, there has been a study in this area that has used TLS, so dual wave TLS, to assess the infestations. So this study has been published by Untila and a team in 2019. And then they have used single tree data from one of the conserved areas. These trees were assessed using the dual wave TLS, and then they were also assessed visually. The idea was that the visual assessment were used in the validation of the data. Of course, the study was much more complex. If you don't know it, you can read it. The results have shown that the overall accuracy with tree infestation classes was 66%, but the overall accuracy for detecting infested and non-infested tree was much higher, 90%. Yes, so that's one example, but there have been other studies from AST. that has been also shown today. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So thank you for listening to me.